Hello viewers, this is Thomas Naylor Movie Kit. Let's start again. This is Thomas Naylor Movie Maker Code Dark. Now if anyone hasn't seen this channel before, I talk about drones. So, to start this channel off, I'm going to tell you about the vehicles that are out there. So, for starters, you have got remote control cars. Remote control cars are something that run on the ground, and they've got 4 wheels, and they go forward. You got remote control bikes that have got 2 wheels and they zoom along. Then you got airplanes that have got propellers on the back, sometimes on the front or back, surprisingly they do, or they have jets on them that push them. And then they have tails on them, they have elevators on them that pull them up, push them down, and the tail to point them in the direction that they go. If you can grasp that, put it together, you can fly an aeroplane. Now, the other one is a helicopter. A helicopter up there is a blade that spins on top, and the blade actually curves for various reasons. Now, on the other end of it is a tail. That tail has a rotation to either go right or left, and it stops a person from getting dizzy, and for pointing in a direction where they can go. Now put that together, and that's a helicopter. Now what we're talking about today is a drone. Now a drone is another setup, so I'm going to get a drone out. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Now a drone has got a different amount of motors. If I can get this out properly. If I could, and I will. Right, this is what a drone is. Now a drone can have 1, 3, 4, 5, 12, 13 motors. You name it. It has a different amount of motors for different types of reasons. But today we're talking about a drone that's got 4 motors. So, with a 4-motor drone, this is how it works. It doesn't have a motor on the top. It doesn't have a tail, so it can't turn it this way with the tail. And it can't use one to pull it up and various bits like that. So it doesn't have that sort of capability for those reasons with that kind of thing. Now what it does have, it has these 4 motors. Now these 4 motors will allow it to do everything like the helicopter and the plane, and it can actually land on the ground, and it can move around on the ground quite easily because of these blades. Now how this works out is because these motors are controlled by something inside here. Now how that works out is this will give these motors some power to actually go in the direction that the drone needs to go. For it to go forwards, the motor will slow down the front ones. It will tip forwards. Then it will speed up the back ones, pushing it forwards. That is how you go forward with a drone. Now for this one to go backwards, they'll slow down the back ones, tipping it this way, and then speed up the front ones, going this way. Now that's how you go backwards. Now to go in that direction, they slow down these ones, tip it, and then they speed up those ones to push it. That's how that one works. And then to go in that direction, slow down these ones to tip it, and then speed ones to push it that way. Now this does work the other way, in that direction, slow down that one, and then speed up that one, these ones to go that way. This works the same way, either way it goes, slows down that one, speeds them up, goes this way. Continues the same way, slows down that one, speeds up these ones, and it goes that way. And it slows down this one, speeds up those ones, and goes in that direction. That's how that works. Now, as it hasn't got a tail to push it round, the drone can still spin. How it does is very clever, is it slows down the motor just slightly so it can spin like this. So it's really quite clever to spin like that. Now, for this thing, it can go up and it can go down, because it'll put the same amount of power to each motor, and it'll pull it up, and for it to drop it can put less power to the motor. Now if you really have to, it can cut power to all the motors whatsoever, and it'll come down like a rock. Now, the only reason you'll do something like that is if there's a problem. Now, hopefully, if you do that, there's no one below it, or there is nothing of someone else's property below it, because you'll hurt someone or you'll damage someone else's property. You might damage your drone, and hopefully there's something soft below it, not someone else. So, if you do drop this on something hard, hopefully it's not someone else's property, hopefully it's nothing to break your drone with, and hopefully it's not someone else. You could damage this, or if it's something soft, hopefully this won't get broken. So make sure it's low to the ground, make sure it's not someone there or someone else's property, and that means you can go and collect it later on. See, make sure you know what you're doing. Don't do this when it's from high altitude. If you do, make it for a reason. I will tell you later on why you do it from altitude height. Now, let's talk about different types of drones. The different types of drones out there for reasons. Now, there are GPS and non-GPS drones out there. Yes, I know, it's amazing the types of drones out there. Right, let's talk about a non-GPS drone. This one is a non-GPS drone. As you can see, it's small. See, not much technology into it. It's got 4 motors, it's got a tiny body, so all it needs is the 4 motors, a battery, a camera, and a small gimbal. See, not very expensive, not very big, simple to fly-ish. Now this means what happens is when it takes off the ground, it will simply, once it's up, it will let you fly it from there onwards. It is not going to assist you. Hello! To do anything, so this means you're going to have to do everything. So if you want to do anything, this is up to you. Now, a non-GPS drone means if you want to move somewhere, you have to do all the work yourself. You have to hold it where it is, and if you want it to stay still, you have to alter the power to the motors. Now this means it's not going to stay still like a GPS drone. It's just going to put power to one of the motors to hold in a particular way. Yes, this is a drone. Yeah, it's a non-GPS drone, and this means there's no GPS on this. It means you're just putting more power to one side of the drone. This is just another way of doing it. All it means is you're just putting more power, so that means it's going to go to one way more than the other. All it means is you're just altering the direction it's going in. That's all. Cool. With non-GPS drones, when you fly, that means every time you do things, it's simply on your own flying abilities. So when you fly along like this, you have to do everything in your own control. Generally with drones, you will get an SD card down the bottom and a light if you're lucky. Battery most of the time will be in the back, so that's something will be there. Now there are some things called GPS drones. I'll pick one out for you so you can see what it looks like. Now GPS drones are bigger because of the technology that goes into it. Now this is a more expensive drone, so it's bigger, it's got more stuff to it, so it will be a better quality drone. So this is a GPS drone. As you can see, it's got more to it, and the GPS is built into the top of here, and it's even got a flow sensor down the bottom. So it's 1.5 meters to the ground. It'll actually use that instead of using the GPS. So it will count, it will actually measure down the bottom where it's going and how high it is instead of using the GPS. After 1.5 meters it'll come up and then use the GPS. Using a GPS means it will track the sat-nav to see where it is, and that means when you fly along it will actually stay still once you let go of the stick and hold its position. Now this is actually quite cool because this means it will help you when you fly along. It is actually quite clever with GPS because that means it'll help you fly generally where you are. If you have a problem, it actually helps you bring the drone back to you. Hold on. Yeah, we can talk privately. Yeah. Are you going to get a drone? Yeah, cool. Yeah, we can talk private. Yeah, I'll tell you about drones. Yeah. So yeah, I'll talk to you about drones. Yes, not a problem. So yeah, with GPS drones, it does it collects the signal, and that means it flies that way. GPS drones generally sometimes will have the same thing there. This one is more expensive, obviously, than this next one here. Same one. So as this one's got more money into it, the gimbal on this one is more expensive. The camera is more expensive. So this is a different company one, and it's, so as you can see, still a battery in the back, SD card there, and the motors are brushless motors, so a bit more expensive than that one, but at the end of the day it's just a different make. Now when you go out thinking about buying drones, you have to think about another thing about them. You can go out and you can buy drones. Now when you do go out buying them, you have to understand you can see the same drone, but you can get it cheaper. Now this seems counterproductive sometimes, but I'm going to tell you why. So now sometimes you can get a drone like this that may cost £400 cheaper. This seems a bit strange. So you may see a drone like this usually costs £400, that you can get it for less than £400. It really is strange. You may sit, you may think, I don't want to spend £400 on a drone, I'll just get it for cheaper. That's fine. The thing is, you get one battery, one drone, less than £400, with a simple white remote. It'll work, as you have one battery, it's cheap. Same remote, it's a good drone, but then you want to stay out there for longer. So you'll find out you can buy another battery. Now usually with most drones I say it's okay, buy more batteries, you can stay out there for longer. So you find you've got 2 batteries now, and you want to go out there for longer. So you're just buying more batteries. It's not a bad idea doing this, but at the end of the day you'll find you have so many batteries hanging around, you have to actually charge them up individually. You find out you can buy a charger like this, pretty cool thing. You can actually charge it up through there. What you can do is you can plug them in like this, like so. So you can actually do that and then charge them all together. Now that comes in with a deal, so I'm going to tell you what comes in with it as well. So you can get the drone, 3 batteries, and with that, within a deal. Now originally you'd only get a small remote, a simple remote, that has some limited range. Now you've seen there's a good remote that has an extended aerial, less interference, looking like this. Now this one has a good thing where you can plug it in and it goes through to the interface, and it works quite well, because all you need to do, plug this into your phone, it opens up the app, and once it goes in there, all you have to do is plug fly once this is activated, and you can fly. Simple. If you would have chose the £400 deal, you would have got, why did I put it back in? This, and that for £400 without actually having to spend all that money on the extra batteries. So you would have spent more money if you were done buying the extra batteries. So when you go buying the deals, you have to understand that you actually pay less money if you buy the deals than if you buy things individually. So looking at these deals, you understand that when you see these deals for £400, you're actually getting the batteries, the battery chargers, the good remotes with the same drone. So the drone is the same, but you're getting the extra things for a better price. So regardless of whatever drone you're getting, you'll get better things as well. So it's just the deals that you're getting. Now, whoever and whatever you're getting it for comes down to this. Whoever you're buying it for and how much you're ever paying for it, really it comes down to this kind of thing, where if you're buying it for a child, buying it for an adult, teenager or more, this is what comes down to it. You can buy it for a child, an adult, or a teenager or an adult. This comes down to where the choice is. A child may play with it for a small time, and they may break it or go into a tree, go into a wall, and you may be able to fix it, and this is where the price comes into it. £200–250 is usually the maximum you'll spend on a drone for a child, because the drones out there may or may not be expensive, but the quality goes into a drone. So when you look at price of the drone, when it's less than £250, you will find the quality will go down. But you'll need a drone that actually works, so your child can actually fly it. But you don't want a drone for a child that's going to actually go through your pocket, that if your drone does, if they do smash it up, you're going to go, ah! So, £250 for a drone for your child is on the border, but that is actually a quality drone for them to fly, and to see if they can fly it or not. So, that kind of price for a drone is something that can get the border on and see if they can actually get it in the air. If it goes into a tree, if it goes into a wall, it might still survive. You don't know. So, if they do get bored of it, it's not going to annoy you. Now, if you're getting it for an adult or teenager, you got to about £400. That does sound a high price, but you do get a good drone, and they do actually get a good flight out of it, and at that point, they will go up. Now, from £400 upwards, you can buy a car, and you could sell your car and buy a drone for it. I'm being serious. You could buy a car for the price that you buy a drone. So, when you go out buying a drone, think about how much you pay for your car. You can buy a drone for that price of a car. So, when you're looking at prices of buying cars, you can do the same thing for buying drones. You think, how much money do you want to spend on your drone? It does the same thing with the drones. Think about how much money you'll spend on your drone, and then you'll see that with your cars. Once you've worked that out, for a kid, for a teenager, for an adult, how much you want to spend, £250 or £400 and upwards, you'll work out that part. Now, having that all in hand, you'll have to go to the next part, licensing. Now, this is not frightening, don't worry. Licensing is more about being able to do it properly. Now, you sometimes don't need a license, but the point of a license is sometimes knowledge. Now, if you have a license, it means that you know what you're doing. So getting a license means that you actually have the ability to actually go out there and actually know what you're doing. Now, to have a drone that's over 250 grams, that is when you actually need a license. A drone like this is under 250 grams and you don't need it. So you can actually go out there with a drone that's under 250 grams and not need a license. The best thing that I could say is to get a license, even if it's under 250 grams. The point is that you'd actually learn or see what you need to know before you go out there, and you'd understand if people actually talk to you what you know. So what you could do is you go to your country's website, they'll send you to a link, and they'll send you to where you need to do, where you can actually understand the rules, and they'll give you a license from wherever it is, from the video where you answer the questions. then you'll have the license that you've paid for, and then that means you can actually go flying. In the UK, it costs about £13, and you would watch a video, answer a few questions, and then they give you a license for 5 years. It lasts about 5 years. You get 3 years commercial license that you need insurance for if you want to use it for that, and then 5 years for you flying it for yourself. Not bad, is it? Now, if you have a drone that's under or over 250 grams and it's over, you have your license, so it's fine. If it's under 250 grams and you don't need it, it's fine. You have your license anyway, so you know what you're doing. This means when you go out, regardless of which way you're going, it's fine. Now, after this, it comes when you go out there, you are going to fly. Now, going out and flying, you need to know that you can actually do it properly. Make sure your batteries are fully charged up. That means when you go in the sky, you can have a full flight. So this means you can actually go out there and enjoy yourself. Make sure your handset has got enough power. So that means when you go up there, you don't have to bring it down and have to charge it up, and that means you lose time. So always make sure that your drone and your handset is fully charged when you go up there. Now, the next thing you need to check up on is weather. Yes, you are flying, so the weather is key round about this point. You need to make sure if it's going to rain. Now, this is where it all comes down to safety. There's several things I'm going to talk about today. Is safety and rules. Now, there's two things. Rules are something you can't ignore, and you have to go by them by the book. And there's safety. Safety is something that you have to think about and understand what they are and what you're going to do about them. Now, I'm going to tell you what the safety rule is, and you're going to understand what they are. Now, whether you do them or not, you have to think about them. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm going to tell you what the safety rule is. You're going to understand why it's there, and you're going to understand whereabouts you're going to be on that. Because I'm going to tell you why it's there. So if you stay on it, that means you're going to be safe. If you go away on it slightly, you're going to understand that you're going to be a bit unsafe. So when it's a safety, it means you can understand that going off it means a risk that's going to happen. But that means you can have a bit more adventure on it. So you'll understand these two things, safety and a rule. There's two things there. So weather, this is where it comes down to safety. Rain, flying in rain. Well, I don't really think you should do it, but if you do, it's bad for your motors, bad for your circuitry, and I don't know why anyone would want to do it. So, flying in the rain is a bad idea. Flying in high wind. If you really have to fly in high wind, fly into the wind. Now, once you've finished doing whatever you feel like you want to do, bring back it into the wind and then land in front of you. That's the safest way you can do this kind of stuff. Now, after that, fog. Now, if you feel that you really, really, really need to fly in fog, for whatever reason, I don't know why you want to, put lights on it. Take off in fog. And then, if you can't see where you're going, because you can't, and if you can't see in the camera, because you can't, you're going to be in the sky where you can't see anything. That's what fog is. So, I don't know why you're flying in fog, because you can't see in fog. But that's the thing. You're flying in fog because fog you can't see through, and then you're flying in it. So, there is fog. So, I don't know why you ought to fly in it, but that's what fog is. Now, we'll talk about daytime. Now, if you're going to fly at daytime, make sure you're wearing sunglasses because of UV, sun, and clouds. they will actually make it difficult for you to see your drone. So make sure you're wearing sunglasses while you're flying your drone. Safety. Now, let's talk about nighttime. Yes, you can fly at nighttime because that means if you put lights on it, you can see it. Now, make sure the area is big and it's open. That means there's less interference, and that means you can bring it back to you and you can land it at any time. Now, we're going to talk about this. They want you to keep the drone in sight. Now, this is safety again. The reason why they say this, if you go out of sight, what happens is if anything goes wrong with it, it's going to crash, and you might not be able to get it back, and it might hurt someone, it might break something, and it's give down to your fault. Now, some drones will come back if there's a problem. Now, there's no guarantee to this, so as I said, as a safety rule, if you go out, something might go wrong. It might come back, the drone might be good, but at the end of the day, safety. Are you going to take the risk of going out? So, when you go out far, is it worth it taking the drone out far? Now, just as an example, this goes 10 kilometers away. Now, will I go 10 kilometers away with this drone? No. The government had to have my head on the stick. So, I'm not going to do that, maybe 300 meters away, max. But the point is, you've got to think about this. Are you going to be silly and do all the miles in the world, or are you going to do a small amount? Are you going to stay within sight? Are you just going to do a little bit? Think about how well you can fly, and think about how well it's flying in the weather and how far you wish to go. Think about this, because it's 120 meters in the sky, the maximum you can go, and how far can your drone go, and how far are you willing to go, because generally you want your drone to come back to you and not hurt people or damage anything. Think about this kind of stuff. Now, there are places that you can't go over and you can't use your camera, so I'm going to take you through these places so you can understand that. Now, we're talking about schools, play parks and colleges. Now, you can't use your cameras there because parents don't want you using the cameras there, and it's dangerous if you fall down there. So, with those places, you can't go there, you can't use your cameras, it's just not allowed. Now, the other places you can't go is near airports, because these fly, and so do the other flying objects. So, if you go near an airport or something, you're breaking the rules and you can't go there. That is a rule. Now, the other places you can't go is in town centres. You can't go there because it's a rule, you can't go to town centres. Another place you can't go to is railway lines. That is a rule, you can't go there because if something happens to your drone, it's down to you. If you cause any damage to something, it's down to you. There could be something and you may cause some irritation to them. So, as a rule, you can't go to any train tracks or anything. Stay away from them. Now, let's see, is there anything else? Yeah, roads. You can't go to any roads that's over 20 miles an hour. Now, you're thinking, why is it over 20 miles an hour? Well, if it's a 30 mile an hour road or more, it means they're used regularly. So these use buses, cars, trucks, and this and the other. They're very tall things, and they're very fast things. You can't go across them. If you want to go over a motorway, what you do, you put it in your hand, you walk underneath it. That's how you do it. If you want to go over a 30 mile road, you put it in your hand and you walk across it. That's how you do it. You don't fly near pylons, that's dangerous, and you'll probably lose your drone that way. So, don't be silly doing these things, it's dangerous. Now, another place I tell you not to take your drone, and this is just for you. It's not dangerous. It's not a no-go area. It is just an area for you. Big bodies of water. don't take it there. Now, the reason why I'm telling you is so you can get your drone back at the end of the day. What happens is, if you take your drone to a big body of water, sometimes the drones will want to actually land. I'm being serious. They want to land. Beep, 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 blop, 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 blop. Now, what happens after that is it's gone. Now, sometimes the drone will be taken out to sea, or it'll go down to the bottom of the sea or the pond where it is, or down to the bottom of the lake, and you will not get it back again. So, as you can understand, using your drone over water, not the best idea. So, going over seas, ponds, and all that kind of stuff is a very bad idea. Stay away from water, because if your drone starts to land, it's going to land on the water and go underneath it slowly, and then it's going to sink. So, if your drone starts to land on top of the tree, eventually maybe you'll get it back off the tree. If it landed on a bush, you could pick it off the bush. If it landed on the land somewhere, you can pick it off the land. So, you can understand why landing on water, you would sink and you wouldn't get it back again. So, be careful when you do these silly things. Just do that. Now, there is something that a lot of people seem to have argument about. You can go over private land. Yes, it is possible. Now I'm going to explain to you how this works. Private land is private land. You cannot go onto private land, but you can fly over private land. Now, this does work in the fact that the government have somehow maybe leased or given the rights to the people who look after the air, so they can actually give you the right to fly over the property. You either have a license or don't have a license, or you just have a drone, so you can literally just fly over their property. Now, what happens with this thing is you can go up, over and across. Now, the only reason that you can't go across their property is if there is a party there. If there's loads of people there, no, you can't do it, because that means there's loads of people there. You'll have to stop going across there. Now, there may be one house there, there may be just fields. You can go straight over the fields and then go wherever you wanted to go. That means you're going over the private land, and that's it. So, you can go over private land, but you've got to make sure that you don't take pictures or film them on below. You don't hover above them, annoy them, because they'll call the police on you, and they'll just cause you trouble. Now, if you want to take pictures and film them, there is one way of doing this. One, you go onto the private land. You talk to the people that own it, and you tell them what you want to do. Now, if they agree to this, you take off from the private land, and then you go up, and you take the pictures, you film them, and you do everything that you want to do. And then you land. You don't do it from public land, and then go up and film them and do all the kind of stuff. You have to do it from their land. You have to ask for their permission, and then when you go up in the air, you can do everything that you want. So you have to have it from their land and their permission. You can do it that way, but you can't do it from public and then do it without their permission. You can't do it that way. Now, when it comes down to me losing my mind, because I'm probably forgetting loads of things as normal, yes, I'm getting there. Cameras. Cameras are terrible when it comes down to drones. People just don't like cameras on drones. Yes, you can use cameras everywhere. You can take pictures of cameras anywhere. It's just a very sensitive subject. The thing is, if you take pictures of minors, it opens up loads of problems. Best thing when it comes down to drones is not to take pictures of minors. Just don't do it. It just makes trouble. So if you have a drone, keep your drone pointed away from minors, because it just causes so much trouble. So If there are people having parties, picnics, this and the other, if there's small groups, keep your drone pointed away from them. So the idea is for your camera to be pointed away from people, so you can film a load of trees, some cars maybe. Not license numbers, please don't do that. Some cars, some, I don't know, birds, something like that. I would say some houses, but no, don't do houses. Some castles. Do something that's actually going to do something that's not private. So, do everything that's not private and have some fun doing that. So, if you can do some filming and do some photo of something that's local, that's not private, do that. Leave people alone and you should be okay. So, no people, no public property, and then you take filming and taking photos of them. Now, if you have to take pictures or film people, for whatever reason, if you have to, it will be at events when there are going to be loads of people. Now, I'm talking 50 or 60 plus people, where they're standing up and lining up, and you can't identify any of them. There could be children, there could be adults, there could be teenagers, and they're all standing next to each other, and you can't tell the difference between either of them. And there's people singing there, there's speakers over there, and there's no way of identifying anyone. That is the only way you can do it. Seriously. That is the only way you can do it if you want to film people or take photos. I don't know why you want to do it, but that's the only way. Don't pick them out. Don't zoom in on them. Don't go on the top of them, because that means if something goes wrong and the drone falls, you'll be in trouble because it'll fall on top of them and you might hurt them. You can do it from afar, and that's the only way you can do it. So you've got to be careful that you do not go over crowds with a drone. It's very dangerous and it's illegal. You can't do that, because you don't go over people with a drone, because if a drone fails, it'll fall on top of them and it's not allowed. Now, you can go into parks, but you can't go into a park that actually has animals. So if you go to a park that actually looks after animals, you can't do that. If a park doesn't have animals and doesn't say you can't use drones, you can go in there. If it says you can't use drones, then you can't. Now, if you do go into a park, you'll make sure that people are not bunched up in an area. You can't go in an area where you're buzzing over people's heads. So if there are a load of people standing around and you're buzzing over people's heads, you're going to annoy them. So trying to find an area that people are not standing around playing football, having picnics and stuff like that. Find an area where people are not there. That means if something goes wrong, you can land, you can do whichever you want. Find a clear space. Now, you can fly near homes. I know it does say you need 50 meters, but if you can find a patch of grass that's soft, that your drone can fly around safely, then you can do that. Keep your camera away from the homes or windows, then it's okay. There are ways of flying. Now, these ways are amazing. Now, if you use this kind of stuff, it all comes down to safety. Now, when you fly a drone, normally you use your eyes. So when you see the drone, you'll see it and you'll fly it like this, looking at the drone with the controllers. Now, you may see the little picture on your phone, and you push record, you push camera, and it'll take a picture, it'll film, and it's really quite cool, because that means what's happening in front of your camera, you'll be filming, you'll be recording, so later on you can see what the drone's been doing. Pretty cool thing. So then later on you can put it on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, put it on your computer, make a video out of it, and do lots of things. Now you're thinking like, oh, I'm going to look at it now then. So as you look at it now, you can see it's live. So you think, oh, cool. So as you bring it up live, when you're moving it around, you don't have to actually look at the drone, so you can see what it looks like. Now, the thing is, at this point, this is not telling you where the blades are, because the camera is in between the blades. So when you fly around, you've got to make sure that if you're going to go near anything, you turn the drone around 360 or either side to find out where objects are if you do fly around, just to make sure you don't clip things, so you don't fall down and so you don't have an accident. Just be careful on that part. So using the camera on this is fun, but just be careful as you use this to make sure there's nothing on either side of you for your blades not to clip something and for you to fall to the ground. Now, there is a way that you can fly blind. Now, yeah, I know it seems very silly to say fly blind, but it is literally flying blind. Now, do you really want to do this? No, it is possible. You can do it. But let me tell you about it. I said you can fly us with your eyes, you can fly us with the camera. Those two things are a way of actually seeing it with your eyes. Now, there's another way of doing this. Now, the other way is flying with the map. I'm being serious. You can fly us with the map. Now, what you have to do at this point is you have to put the drone at a certain height. Now, this height means it's higher than any houses, trees, pylons, anything in the area that it can't hit. Now, on the map, you can actually see where the park is mapped out. You can put it onto a satellite map where it can show you where trees are, but not the height. It can show you just pictures of trees, where pictures of cars are, and this and the other. Just the satellite views. You've seen all of them before. You can see maps of other things. You'll see the maps on your the maps what are there for you. So you can choose one of those maps. Now you need to make sure you're high enough above everything, and then you'll see you, and then you'll see the drone, and then what you can do is you can plot some positions, and you can tell the drone to go to those positions, and if it's got enough power it can go to those points and then come back to you. Now if you can't do that, you can do it manually and then just fly around, and then all you'll do is you'll move the stick and you'll go round and round and round in circles, and all you'll literally do is you'll fly around blindly. All you'll do is you'll move that dot all the way around that screen, and you're not looking at the drone up there. You're not looking through the camera, you're looking at this screen with this dot going round and round circles. I know, it seems odd to do that because you can't see what's in front of it. You're not looking above it. You're thinking, well, I don't know. Is this safe? Well, the thing is, you have to be able to be above everything. So that means you know that if you are going somewhere, hopefully there is nothing in front of it. So these are the different things that you can do. Now, doing this kind of stuff is going to be under safety. Again, like with the camera, you don't know where the blades are, and flying blind, you're not looking at the drone, you're just hopefully thinking there's nothing in front of you. Safety. So these kind of stuff, you can actually go all the way out of sight, and then you fly. So it all comes down to safety, whether you do this or not. You don't have to do this. You can stay within sight. You don't have to use the camera to fly with. You don't have to use the map to fly with. You can use your eyes for everything. You can just use the camera for recording and taking photos, if you feel safe for doing that. Now, the only reason if you want to use it for navigating is if you feel safe to do this. Now, if you want to use the map for flying, you can, but if you don't feel that if you're not safe enough to do that, don't do it. Always have fun while flying, and always feel safe when doing it. So, don't worry about doing things if you don't feel they're not safe. Just do things and have fun, and always make sure that you're always safe flying, and you can bring the drone back under your own control. Yes, you have systems on board to bring it back, but always make sure you can do it yourself. Now, in this video, I told you all about the different types of drones, and about the licensing, and about the places you can and can't go. I told you about all the things that you need to know about all the systems that you can fly with. So in this video, Hopefully I've given you enough information so you can understand all about the drones and what you can do with it, and all that kind of stuff. So obviously, if you've got any questions at all, just like here, if you want to ask any questions, I'll answer them for you. And if you've got any questions anywhere after this, again, put the questions down there and answer them as well. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I'll keep doing these things for you. This is Thomas Naylor, Movie Maker, signing out. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.